G'day guys, back again. Just gonna have a quick yarn today. Just come down to a little creek here actually. The tide's just right, bought a fishing rod, see if we can get a feed. But really what I want to talk to you today about is your kids don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to do your best, and by doing that, you'll show them what's possible. Most people think having kids slows you down, stops you chasing your dreams or whatever, they talk about. But what I've found, it does the opposite. It gives you a reason to get going, gives you a reason to work a bit harder, gives you a reason to set more goals. You don't never want to be using your kids as an excuse. What you got to do is use them as a reason. Don't let them be a distraction from success. Use them as a reason to define what success means for you, and then show them. Before I had kids, I thought I had it all worked out, living the dream. I used to travel the world doing rodeos, chasing that adrenaline, chasing the wind. Just living footloose and fancy free, I suppose you'd call it. Back then it was all about me. No commitments, just having a good time. I suppose, that's the good part about being young. Then the kids come along and I realised there's much better feelings than me winning. Watching your kids win, that's the ultimate. When you realise that, your whole perspective changes. You realise that if you don't step up, it doesn't just affect you. If you don't step up, it reflects in your marriage, in the way your kids act. Having a family forces you to become the man you need to be. Lately I've been watching a fella called Dwayne it's called Dry Creek Wrangler School on YouTube. And he has a saying, as the man goes, so does the family. That kind of makes sense to me. It's a simple chain. Most people miss it. Man equals marriage. Marriage equals family. Family equals community. It's kind of how the world works. Well, it's pretty simplified really, but I think that's a good way of looking at it. If the man is broken, the marriage struggles. If the marriage is a mess, the family struggles. The family's unstable. Families are falling apart. Society's in trouble. Maybe, we're seeing that a little bit more and more. That's why when you have kids, you really do need to step up. It's not about you anymore. You realise you're not just living for yourself anymore. You have to show them what actually matters. Be a leader. Money's good, but it's a terrible reason to get out of bed every morning. You can always make more money, but there's definitely only a certain amount of time you can spend with your kids. Bloody heaps of bait here, something chasing it. Maybe I need to try and catch a fish in a minute. If I had a cameraman, I'd show you. They're going to torment me. Got to be a bit careful here too. Got to keep one eye on the water. A few crocodiles up in this country. What you really need to do is show your kids what it's like to turn up every day and do your best. Something that I really don't like, and this is just my opinion, I hate hearing parents say that my kids are my best mate. Really, my thoughts on that are, if you need your kid to be your best mate, you need to go out and get a life. Maybe that's a bit harsh. Think about it. How can your best mate be someone so much younger than you? You're there to be a leader, not their best mate. Like I said, this is just my opinion. I think too many people spend all their time trying to be their kid's best mate and they forget to be a leader. Forget to lead their kids. They spend all their time trying to be their best mate. They got plenty of kids their own age to be best mates with. If you need a friend, get out and make some friends. Your kid, I think, you need to have respect for one another and you need to be friends, I suppose, but you don't need to be your kid's best mate. That can come later. But when they're young, you've got to lead them. And if you're the best mate, if you're working so hard to be their best mate, how do you lead? You got to have respect, but you don't need to be their best mate. That's my opinion anyway. Being a father means doing what's right, not what's easy. It's not always easy to be a leader. You're here to make them winners. And I don't mean win everything, I mean here to help them live a good life, be happy in their own skin. Not everyone's going to be an athlete or win at athletics or make the first teams. It's not about that. It's about being happy in your own skin, being a winning person, being someone people talk to and want to be friends with. Not someone people make fun of behind their back because they're like little mummy's boys or daddy's boys But anyway, maybe I'm a bit too old school, but that's my feelings. I reckon you need to build belief in your kids. You got to let kids learn the hard way sometimes. We've raised our kids in small towns. And something that I've seen a lot in these small towns is a kid who's pretty good at sport in these small towns, they can look like a superstar. And they go away, they're easy to get picked to go away for things. Then they go away and they're not a superstar anymore. In a little town, you're easy to be a big fish in a small pond, You look like a star because there's no competition. Then you go away and realise, whoa, this is a lot different to at home. Some kids can't handle that. Some parents can't handle that. They go away and they're not a star anymore. They've got to work a lot harder if they want to succeed. And some kids thrive in that, but some really struggle because they've always been told how good they are. False praise isn't a good thing. You got to build confidence in a kid, but you also got to let them know you still got to earn it. I see kids, I work with a lot of kids, and I see kids, they leave school, all their life they've been told how good they are. Then they go into a job and they still think they're so good. They're not willing to do the hard yards. They want to tell everyone how to do shit because they think they know everything. Sometimes it's good to let your kids bring them back to ground every now and again, because when they get in a job, they're going to get the rug pulled out from them real quick. They're going to learn that they don't know everything. They've got to spend a couple of years learning how to do stuff. They can't be telling others what to do because at home they run the show. You got to let your kids do the hard yards. You got to let them realise they don't know everything. Because next minute they leave school, think they know everything, and that's when the world really gets hard. And that's, and that's pretty hard on some kids. Some kids really struggle with that. Some kids really struggle to hold a job because they've never been told what to do. Being a father isn't about knowing everything, not about being perfect. It's about having the guts to be the man your family and your kids need. And look, guys, I'm far from perfect at this. I've made so many mistakes, but I've been through it, and hopefully you can get something from this. Sometimes you're struggling, and it's not easy. None of this is, you're never handed a manual and this is how you do it, and everything, what works for you might not work for me. What works for me probably doesn't work for others. But I've been through it, I've raised kids, so if you can get something from this, that's great. So stop being their best mate. Be a leader. It's all right to be their mate, but be a leader as well. You got to lead. Stop chasing little short-term wins. Build a foundation with your family. Because remember, as a man goes, so does his family. Step up. Be the reason they win, not the excuse why they didn't. Look, guys, I hope you got something out of this. If some of this resonates with you, drop a comment, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.